All right, what up, Bucs fans? We are back. We are live. It is football season is finally here. Thank God, because it's been a long June and July. But Buccaneers football is back, and that means real Bucs talk is back. And it's awesome to be back with you guys talking football. And as always, I'm Michael Plus. Mark Ramirez joining me. It's been a while since both of us has been on a actual video, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, just super excited, and we'll let you guys all gather in here. Please be sure to hit that like button. Give us your questions if you got any questions or comments. A lot to discuss, a lot to talk about, and we're pretty much just going to run it from the top to the bottom and really go through the overview of the offseason so far and what brought us here to training camp. And we already have moves to discuss that happened today, literally. So, Mark, just your thoughts of finally we're talking football again, like X's and O's are going to be a part of the conversation, and we actually get to see, new things that we've been talking about for a little while, put to actual in action.
A breath of fresh ass. I mean, fresh
Yeah.
air. So obviously, great to be back, guys. We all missed you. It's football season. It's Buccaneer season, and there's going to be a whole lot of new things. Some people think it's going to be really bad. Some people are optimistic. Some people are right in the middle. I think we're going to try and be as real as we can be. We're going to be not the Debbie Downer or let's just ready the troops. Let's just be real with what we have, right?
Mhm.
But the optimism is truly there based off of so much change. I mean, this team needed the change. I think it's something we talked about at the end of last year, like how there needed to be a massive surgical procedure to this facelift, right? And I think
Mhm.
it's really happened. And we're going to talk about, like Plus said, top to bottom, like talk about the coaching staff, the coaching changes. Still, there's so much bad blood with Todd Bowles. People think he's a trash head coach.
Yeah.
Talk on that.
Yeah.
And obviously, the quarterback competition is going to be huge, right?
Mhm.
Some people think it's already written to Baker. I may be one of them, but we'll talk on it. And whatever questions you have, put it down in the chat and we'll get to it. But let's do this. Let's talk about the big good news that just has come out,
Mhm.
actually, because let's talk the most frequent or most current. William Golson is officially back
Yeah.
to get on to what I think is going to be a very deep defensive front, and that is a combination of just veteran and rookie speed and athletic ability. And you see it there on the screen. Bucks have agreed to terms with defensive lineman Will Golson to bring him back for an 11th season in Tampa. A big boost to the defensive line depth for 2023. Can't agree more there, Greg.
Yeah.
Uh, so 11th season, the longest tenured Buck since under Levante David. So
Mhm.
huge to have him back, an anchor on that defensive front, especially for a run D. If you're concerned about Kalijah Cansey, Logan Hall's ability to stop the run, now you got it. Ken
Yeah.
Barrett, there we go. Christopher Cole, welcome to the show, guys.
Yeah.
Huge depth signing with Golson. It is. And it's just a moving piece that we can kind of interchange, like the depth behind him or within that. Kalijah Cansey doesn't have to be thrusted to the front immediately.
Mhm.
Logan Hall, we all know how we feel about him. As he take
Yeah.
that step forward, does he turn into somewhat of a William Golston? William Golston's going to have a leadership role. A lot of good things, I think. We're not even mentioning Greg Gaines, who will likely be the starter next to Vita Vea, that Washington connection. I'm ready for that. So, plus, what do you think about William Golston coming back?
Yeah, I think that was bound to happen. Obviously with Golston, he loves it here in Tampa, and I think he felt, it was the right move to be made. So I'm excited for him. Happy that he's back, and like you said, it brings more depth. It brings a guy that can start, or if he needs to come off the bench and be a role player, he can do that as well. So yeah, I think he was coming back all along, and I like it. Now you don't have to rush, Kalijah Cansey and Logan Hall like Ken Barrett says here. Buys them time exactly, and you can utilize them in pass rush situations, which
100%.
that's what they're here to do, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. Really good.
I mean, as a rookie, you're already thinking too much. You're already thinking, holy crap, this is a lot faster, a lot bigger than
Mm,
college. especially from Logan Hall's standpoint. He came from
Yeah.
like that wasn't the SEC, and he gets all the way up to the NFL. And yeah, he has this athletic ability, but he doesn't know how to use it with guys that are just as fast and big as he is. And it was not using leverage whatsoever. So let's see what after a year of getting bigger, which he did, and learning leverage, a full year under a system. Let's see. I mean, I haven't written him off yet, even though I just didn't agree with the pick. Well, let's see. Let's see what he turns into. Now, Kalijah Cansey, if you can pigeon him in on rush downs and use him anywhere, he's not going to be a guy that's just going to be stuck in the middle. You can throw him anywhere on that defensive front, and he's going to cause pressure. So I'm excited about that and how multiple they can be with that defensive front. I mean, that's deep. And I think people thought that was a concern. A lot of people were saying, oh, we lost Akeem Hicks. I said it correctly that time, right? Plus, I always messed it up.
Yeah. No, you got it.
I mean, this is a big depth piece that you need for a defensive front where injuries will occur, and then you have that youth inexperience. Well, guess what? William Golston step in. Thank you for coming back. And then the other huge news for the defensive front is Shaq Barrett getting a green light. He's not going to be full force going in, but he's going to be at training camp. I'll bring that up.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome news that, he doesn't have to go on the PUP list, and, they'll probably ease him in, but it's a great start knowing that he could be ready for the start of the regular season. It looks like all signs are pointing that way. And I think, I've talked about this with Ken Barrett as well, who's in the chat. I mean, they might put him on a snap count, to start the season and just ease him in, let him rush the passer. And that's why you bring back, Anthony Nelson, et cetera. But yeah, that's great news to have for your defense. And he's definitely going to be a big part of the pass rush, and they need that. That's something that they're going to have. They got to be able to rush with 4. And I think that's where, Todd Bowles, hopefully he can be more creative if that does take place.
And I'm really excited because him and Jose Ramirez are almost like carbon copies.
Mm-hmm.
Like smaller in stature. They don't have the size, the speed that you see with other elite pass rushers, but they win with their hand placement, their savvy moves, their subtle moves, and like how they can bend and get around guys. And I think it's going to be cool to see him early on, hopefully not going full on, just showing Jose Ramirez how to kind of use the tools that he has, because he has a lot in his toolbox. It's just how you going to do it at this high of a level. And Shaq Barrett being from a smaller school, making it here, I think that's just a hell of a combo to kind of have them learn together. And it just Shaq being back is huge nonetheless. I know a lot of people think this is probably going to be one of his last years at Buck, but we'll see.
Yeah, and there was also this as well. I know people have talked about Sean Tucker, the running back, switching gears to the offense. He's also been cleared. Ken also talked about this tree in here. So clear for takeoff. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And, he was a highly touted undrafted guy. So, I mean, maybe, he finds some competition for that, 3rd or 4th running back spot if they do keep 4, or maybe he gives some competition to Chase Edmonds, but we'll see. It'd be cool to just watch him in preseason and really see what his skill set is. So that's pretty awesome.
Hold on a second. Keep that up there.
Oh, sorry.
Keep that up
there. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm reading it this way, but I'm seeing it as blessed.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I mean, at first I thought he was just saying like maybe it was bless, but he's saying plus. Yeah.
No, he's saying this is he's making the team based off that. He just got blessed.
He did. Yeah. I mean, I wanted him back, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give him the all clear on this, and that's what he did.
You know what? Plus,
he did me a favor.
We need to have a segment,
and we're not following him. We got to follow him.
What the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, got to make that happen.
Jeez, I mean, he's talking to you. Plus, we need to have a segment like maybe a before plus.
Yeah, we are all plus.
Like a pre-game.
Yeah,
who's been blessed today?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, blessed.
Yeah,
I'm blessed. You don't need to be blessed when you could be blessed. Shit. He's making it based on that. If you've been blessed, hell, get out of the way, Sneak. This is your number 2 running back.
Yeah. No, that was a good catch. I didn't even notice that at first. I thought it was like B, not with a P, but
No,
yeah.
I saw it. I only saw
Yeah.
one thing.
Yeah. That's great.
All
That's
right.
great. He knows what he's talking about.
He does. He wants to
Yeah.
make the team.
Yeah.
But okay, so let's hone it back in. Okay, guys. Let's talk about his.
Let's start with the big moves so far this offseason and the coaching staff. And obviously we talked a lot about it last year and what the main issues were for this offense. And when you really break it down, a lot of it was Byron Leftwich. Some of it was Tom Brady because he just wasn't dialed in. And, a lot of people talked about that where he just wasn't focused. And you can't blame him. He had a lot going on last year, and he's also 45 years old. So there was that. But really, it was the offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich, when, other teams just know what you're doing and you become so predictable and you don't use analytics, you don't use play action, you don't use any of these things that modern offenses use today. It makes it very difficult. So you let go of him, and obviously Todd Bowles agreed that he was the biggest weakness of the team. And you go out and you find Dave Canales, and man, everything Canales has said so far has been complete opposite. And I get he still has to produce, he still has to learn and call the plays right. But man, he's impressed a lot of people, and I think he's on track to get this offense where it needs to be.
Yeah, the more you hear him talk, the more little tidbits you get out of him, the more you're like, this man is the exact opposite of what Byron Leftwich was. And this is what we're talking about, top to bottom. Starting at the top, Jason Light, good draft, bringing back the guys you needed, keeping the core still intact. Yes, you lost some guys, but of the core, we'll talk about that later. I know I wanted to talk top, but the core is still here. Your defense, that core that is kept you in every damn game, is still here. Okay. So don't worry about that. And you added to it. That's huge. We haven't added to it in a little while. So that's humongous. And then you went and fixed the big glaring problem, which was your offensive coordinator. You get a guy that believes truly in analytics. Even mentioned Player Football Focus in one of his interviews, which is huge, and how he uses them.
Right.
And how big his mind is into it. And even hiring guys from a spread offense, telling them to kind of incorporate that in their offense, learning, just always frequently learning, not just sticking to the old style of football. Yeah. How confident he is in actually teaching them and then eventually handing over the keys once they understand it. Awesome. Just a great teacher, a great mind. But let's see, as you just said, does it come to fruition on the field? But to me, it was a change that had to happen, and something that people aren't truly seeing how vital it was for this team to have happen. They think, okay, well, we lost Brady. Now it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
Brady was one guy in the ultimate team game. If you learned anything from Brady from the time he was here, he never took full credit for anything. He's like, I'm just getting into the ball in the hands of a guy that can make the play happen. I'm just trying to get rid of it as fast as I can. That's all Dave Canales is asking his quarterback to do. Be the point guard. Just get it to the guy. It's getting a little 2-yard dunk. Okay, well, guess what? They're going to have to drain themselves running after that 2-yard dunk, and then we'll attack them later. So this is a whole everyone's playing checkers, he's playing chess kind of thing. That's what we're hoping is happening. So Leftwich is just playing, I don't know, like hopscotch. And
I mean,
I don't know.
You look at, and this is what Todd Bowles wants, and finally he gets a guy in Canales that kind of sees the game the same way. He understands that we're going to run the football, so I think that's the biggest change. There's going to be commitment to actually running the football. There's going to be a plan in place of how to run it, and then your pass game is going to be marriage to the run game, so everything's going to go off of that and based off of that. And you're going to understand how to attack defenses differently. You're going to use analytics to help you. There's just going to be a lot of better processing. And I think that's where it starts. The process overshadows the work. So you obviously put in the work, but that process is what matters. So the process equals outcome. And that's what they're looking for. And they're building a system. He talks about system. So every drill he runs, it's part of that system. You're incorporating in practice, you're putting a purpose to the plan, which is great to see. So there's going to be actual, game planning where we're going to put guys in position against certain matchups weekly to go out there and win, and they're going to find ways to get those guys the ball. So I just love it how they have it all set up. And I think it's going to help your quarterback. It's quarterback friendly. He's talked about that. He's talked about how it's offensive line friendly. So that's what it should be. It should be a system that helps these guys. It shouldn't be a system that makes it tougher or more difficult to execute. Execution should be just a thing of nature. Like, it should be something you can do on repeat because you're calling plays that are set up for higher percentage rate of success. And that's what they're doing.
And another funny thing, we were just talking before the show about it, how in the BA system, how you literally heard him say, you're never going to see the same play twice. Multiple times. We're like, bull crap. We've seen the same kind of similar play every time. Dave Canales tells you we're going to have these main formations that we're in that we know that we can run off of. That's the biggest thing. And you've heard that off of all of them. Chris Godwin has said it. Rashad White said it. Mike Evans has said it. Dave Canales has said it over and over and over. We need to get this run game going. We can't be dead last and expect to succeed and have a top 5 passing game or big play game, right? Yeah. But working everything off of that run. So the same formation, but you can have around 20 or so plays off of that one same formation. Yeah, that makes the team think, or the linebackers, oh, this guy's moving over here. It's going to be this. No, but it's not that, because they can run so many different concepts off the same exact play, which you didn't really see here. There was no motion. They'd try and outsmart themselves. No, the analytics is going to be in there knowing, okay, this guy is in third down, 3rd and 6 situation, and it's a cover 2. I know not to run this because my guy's not that good at that. They're going to use that in their game planning. Something mind blowing that we've been yelling at our own selves for years, and now it's actually coming to fruition of them at least talking about it. These things.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not talking about like, we're going to run the ball every first down. That's not going to happen. We're not going to, run the ball on first and second down and then throw on third down. So it's not going to be that type of predictability. Dave Canales has talked plenty of times on, understanding tendencies and understanding how to make sure those tendencies don't get figured out, and keeping teams off balance, keeping defenses off balance. And that's what you want to do. And so he also talked about play action. So I don't know if you guys have checked out the Pewter Report live stream that they had with Dave Canales. It's a great insight. And he talked about play action and how, you use that play action to set up, you set up the play action is what he's talking about, and it's usually, 3 to 5 plays where you want to take those shots down the field. And I like that. I think he understands, he knows when to, utilize those situations. And I think that's going to be the beauty. Yeah.
Because he's not just going to throw play action. No, there's going to be meaning behind the play action.
Right.
And that also kind of calms my nerves of people that compare Baker Mayfield to Jameis Winston. I mean, if you're limiting the shots where, okay, on this play, we're going to need you to look at this deep shot. Or that it's going to be there for you because we've done run. Okay, they're going to think it's going to be a run again. Try it. Take it. So it's not literally every play. It's the quarterback's going to make the decision, but he's going to know when that big play opportunity is going to be there. And that's the cool part about it. That's why it's a QB-friendly system. It's because, listen, check down. We're waiting for this big play. It doesn't have to be yet. Let's just hold off until we can do that. And I think that's huge. That is a huge concept. Everyone thinks it's going to be all run and play action every damn down. No, he just proof is in the pudding right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think, the biggest thing that he also has said is talking about, complementing the defense. So playing team football, offense complements your defense, special teams, etc. It's calling the game to help your defense out. So, staying on the field, getting first downs, protecting the football, doing all these things. That's what the system is. And he's talking about the quarterback needs to play within that system, but also he talked about that quarterback is going to have to, if he plays to a certain level, then that means the team will go a little bit further than expected of what, the system's going to provide. So, but with that said, that system's going to help that quarterback continue to, play better and play more efficient. And that's what it's going to come down to, between Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield, who can protect the football, in preseason, and who can take those shots downfield and make things happen as well.
I mean, offensively, I'm just overall excited just for a new scheme and just doing the X's and O's part of it, and actually the film breakdowns that we do on a weekly basis are going to be fun. I mean, we're going to be learning on the go of what are our tendencies, what are our run packages that he says that we like to literally work off of. We're going to figure that out like this whole year. That's why it's going to be fun to watch this happen and to see an offense that's different, that's moving pieces. He even joked around on how in practice he had Mike Evans go on an end around for like a jet sweep.
Yeah.
He's like, Mike, you're going to have to take the ball one of these times. He said, what? No, you're going to have to take the ball. We got to actually give you the ball for them to actually think this is a viable option, where it's not just a bull crap like Tom Brady going out wide, right? So, I mean, it's going to be fun to learn and see all this stuff come to fruition because those weapons are still there. You still got Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Russell Gage, Keith Otten. Let's see if he takes a step forward. But let's talk about also the biggest worry of everyone, this offensive line. Yes, you heard Canales talk how massive that left side is. No one is redder in the middle than the Bucs with Ryan Jensen and Cody Mock. And then you have Luke Gedeke, who people are really concerned about, but he moves back over to right tackle, which he was in college at Boston College. So I'll let you take the wheel on this one because I've been talking too much.
No, you're fine. Obviously it's a lot of shuffle. You only have one guy that is playing his natural position, which is center, Ryan Jensen.
Yep.
And then you have a lot of new faces. Matt Filer played left guard for the Chargers last year, was so-so, wasn't great, wasn't terrible, but so-so. You have Tristan Wirfs going to a completely new position, which is tough. I mean, going from right side to left side, that's no easy feat, but it's Tristan Wirfs we're talking about. He's still a massive man. He's still athletic. He still knows how to move his feet, and I think he'll figure it out. I like that they're going with that starting five that you see on the screen. That's their starting five right now, and I don't think it changes. It doesn't change unless something drastic happens where certain guys not performing well or there's an injury. So I like that. I think you're going to solidify your backups and, Hainsey, Walton, and Leverett. And they'll find someone else, whether that's Stinney or one of these other guys that they brought in. But yeah, I think that's a good group up front. Obviously, your concern is in pass protection with Luke Gedeke at right tackle. He's going to get beat sometimes. It's going to happen. He's just not long enough as far as, arm length and all that. But he did play much more natural over there at the right side. So, yeah, you're hoping for the best. And Cody Mock, a rookie, super athletic. So I think he'll be fine in the run game. It's going to be in the pass protection. Can he anchor and do those type of things? But again, I go back to the scheme. The scheme's going to help you out. It's going to make things easier. They're going to change the launch point of passes. So you're not going to have, the same look every time for a defensive front where they know the quarterback's going to be here. There's going to be movement inside the pocket. That's why they added Baker Mayfield, because they want him to be able to roll out and do some different things, a lot of more bootlegs and, quick passes as well. So if you have the guy open the flat, that's where the football's going. So it's understanding, what you have up front. And that's a big offensive line. So what are you going to do? You're going to run the football, run the football, and you're going to help your offense that way.
Yeah. And because the big thing with this, yes, they're a lot more athletic with Cody Mock. You got to keep moving the right tackle. That it does scare me that your whole right side is almost an unknown. You have a rookie, small school guy. Yeah, it's great that he's athletic, but again, massive jump in competition. That does scare me.
Yeah.
Gedeke was not good in any shape or form last year, but he played one good half, I guess, against the Falcons. And that was one game or one sample size. Way better than his his left guard showing, but still, I mean, it is what it is. I am confident. I do like you mentioned, that they're starting with this five. There's no questions about it. They're
Mm,
going to have to gel and learn to play together. That is huge to me. And I do agree that the system will help, the scheme will help defend these guys. I mean, the
yeah.
launch point's going to change. That everyone that's concerned about Baker not being able to throw over the line, Russell Wilson had to throw over a big line too. He didn't have an issue. They moved these guys around to move the launch point.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. Yeah, the ball got knocked down a lot in Carolina for Baker because that was just bad. It was
Mhm.
just they didn't know how to use him. He goes over to the Rams. They didn't get the ball knocked down at
Yeah.
all, barely.
Right.
So again, a coach that knows how to use the player. We're talking a lot of praise about Canales because he's talking about it, but it's
Mm,
also because he's coming from these systems that have used these quarterbacks correctly. We're
yeah.
talking the Ram system, Ram scheme. Baker's already familiar with it. Let's see what's going to happen. So, yeah, a lot more easy scheme for the alignment. You've heard Tristan Wirfs talk about how fun and easy it is for him. I just go this way, one way. Okay, he runs behind my butt. Okay, that's it. That's all I know.
Mm,
Make it simple for them.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think they'll be okay. Um, we'll see what happens. Again, if certain guys are struggling, they're going to find ways to help them out. There's going to be tight ends, there's going to be running backs in there to chip, do all those different things. You're going to see a lot more, 12 personnel, 13 personnel, where these guys are not going to be put on an island. They're going to find ways to, help them out and make sure, they're in a good position where they're not, just getting beat one on one every time, and your quarterback ends up getting sacked. So they'll
Plus,
find way. Yeah, they'll find ways.
what you're mainly talking about is 12 and 13 is
Yeah,
throwing another tight end probably next
yeah,
to Luke Gedeke to help him out. I mean,
right.
they did that at times with Donovan Smith over at the left. They put either
Yeah,
Gronk over there or Kate Otten or someone to
right.
help out with prolonging the pass protection. You're probably going to see that with Luke Gedeke on the right, since Tristan Wirfs is like an all-world tackle wherever the hell he plays.
Mhm.
They trust him. Gedeke, okay, let's give him a little bit of help or a little chip here, a little chip there. So I can
Mhm.
see that again, helping prolong that pass protection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's going to be okay. That's why I'm so confident in Dave Canales, because he understands the game, but he also is using tools that are going to help him put up a game plan that will be um, a strong suit, and we'll be able to attack weaknesses. And I'm just excited to see what he comes up with and how this offense is going to operate. Um, and there's a lot to find out. Obviously, I think we have, the skill players in position. Now it's just figuring out who that quarterback is going to be. As far as, I mean, we're all leaning towards Baker Mayfield. I think we can agree on that. He just has the experience. He understands this offense. He's played in it before, so obviously he has the edge. And you want to see Kyle Trask do well, no doubt about it. But it's an uphill battle for him. He would have to really be outstanding for him to, I think, get the job. Or Baker's just going to have to be really poor. It will come down to that. But your hope is both of them play well, and you end up going with the veteran.
I mean, how I see it, Baker has all the chips on his side. All
Hmm.
everything that's in favor, it is for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means experience in the system, just amount of football played is
Hmm.
way more in his favor. That's not just experience in the NFL, like in general. And I mean, if you want to learn on the go, you're going with Kyle Trask. If you want a guy that's been in the
Yeah.
system and can try and win as fast as possible, it's Baker. I think it's a clear answer who's going to probably win it, even though, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to try and pull for Kyle Trask. It's just, I mean, it is Baker. I mean, it is what it is.
Hmm.
If he doesn't win, I'll be very surprised, and then we'll start talking about that floor, that conversation that was talked about earlier in the week.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But no, I agree with you there. But overall, I mean, so far what we've talked about is, from this offseason, obviously the big change that we all felt was needed was a new life on offense, and new fresh ideas as far as offense coordinator and scheme and game plan. So I think you're just going to see a lot new things and these guys used in different ways that they haven't been utilized before. And I think it's going to help them. Chris Godwin being on the outside, Mike Evans being moved around to get more free release. I think is going to help him. Rashad White, obviously is going to be running the ball, catching the football. And I think he's going to have a huge year because this system, it fits what he does best. And yeah, so really excited about that. But just the overall variations of, the run and the pass game is going to be a lot of fun to see. And then defensively, it's still a very strong defense. We have a lot of guys coming back. We talked about some of the additions. We're bringing back Will Golston, Kalijah Cansey, some of the rookies, Yaya Diaby. But you just have a lot of good players over there. Antoine Winfield going back to his natural position at free safety. You bring in Ryan Neal. So there's a lot of things to be excited about there. And you still have a very good coaching staff. I believe Todd Bowles is a good coach. I think a lot of the things that last year fans got upset about is because he couldn't trust the offense. Mm-hmm. So if you can't trust the offense, you can't really play it aggressive or call it aggressive like he wanted to. Because he is an aggressive coach. I mean, the guy blitzes like, it's candy out there. He loves to blitz. But he's also a smart coach and he understands his personnel. And I think his defense still puts up results regardless of who's in there. I mean, we've seen that. I talked about it the other day. We've won games with Pierre Desir at corner. They find ways to win with lesser in the secondary or lesser in the front seven. They know how to utilize these guys and find a way to put up at least a decent game plan where your team's going to be in the game. And I think that's what we can expect from this team every week going forward this year. They're going to find a way to be in the football game. It's going to come down to, can they finish games and win at the end? Because that's what the Seahawks did last year. You look at them, they finished games, and that's how they won most of them.
Yeah, and I'm going to stand by this. We talked about this as well prior. The defense is so good. They're going to be the ones winning you a lot of games. I mean that by keeping you in them where they're so low that the offense just has to do enough to score something, or they're going to get you in position where maybe even there's games where we win by field goals, right? And that's where I compared it to almost like a Dungy-led team. Mm-hmm. Like, you never saw Dungy's teams lose that many damn games. They're always in them. And it was just, when the hell's the offense ever going to come around? That's what we always worried about. When the hell is this going to happen?
Yeah.
And this defense is almost to that level of how talented it is and how many pieces they have put together to actually come to what Todd Bowles kind of wants to do, get pressure in many different multiple ways, not just be forced to only blitz linebackers or only have to always blitz a corner or a safety. Mm-hmm. If he can get home with just the front four or front five that he has in there, look the hell out. I mean, I think he's something he hasn't had. That's why you've seen so many blitzes from the corners and stuff like that. So if you get a team that can win with just defense, Baker, just don't make a mistake. Just start running the ball. Let's do this stuff where we just consistently just at least break the other team down. And that's where one thing I just don't get it with some of these sports analysts that I guess they just don't watch the Bucs as much. They said the key losses, Akeem Hicks. Okay, I get it, but he was out almost half the season last year. We're still good defense. What was another? William Golson, they put as a loss. Well, guess what? We just brought him back.
He's back.
He's back. Cole Nassib. Okay, but we kind of upgraded with our draft picks. Yaya Diaby, Jose Ramirez. Mm-hmm. Yes, a lot faster than Carl Nassib. Not as big, but I mean that's an influx of pass rush ability. Mike Edwards, I think Ryan Neal is a massive improvement over Mike Edwards. I thought Mike Edwards was a liability because he would take so many risks and trying to make that big play and jump a route instead of actually be where he's supposed to be. I think Ryan Neal is going to be that Jordan Whitehead factor that we missed so badly last year, and we need that. A hard hitter where the offense is going to think about it going over the middle. And then Nacho. Someone was saying how Keanu Neal was such a huge loss too. I'm like, are you kidding me? Did you watch anything? Couldn't believe that shit. I was like, no, pass.
He was just a fill-in, and so I agree completely. I mean, they definitely they've upgraded that side of the ball, in my opinion. Definitely got faster, you got more athletic, and you found a way to be more diverse and have more flexibility. So I think that's the biggest thing, going forward. And I think Todd Bowles is going to be excited to utilize some of these pieces that he has. Obviously adding Greg Gaines, I think that's a huge upgrade. I think he's a guy that can push the pocket, do a lot of different things against the run.
The dirty
And then
work.
you add in a speed factor of Kalijah Cansey, who just understands technique, understands how to play with leverage, just knows how to play the game. Very smart player, even for a rookie. And then Logan Hall is kind of the X factor. It's like, what are you going to get from him if he brings anything to the table? Then you're pretty much in business. And then obviously you have JTS, who I feel is on the. I think he's going to come around. I think he's on the up and up. I thought he played really well last year, and I think he's going to do even more this year with another addition that we really haven't discussed, or we have, but I just want to bring up his name, George Edwards. I mean, the new defensive the outside linebackers coach. He's a good coach, and I think he'll know how to maximize these guys. So, yeah,
So I
in the
just gotta bring
chat,
up some of these things in the chat.
yeah, they're funny.
We're talking about Vita Vea. Mini fridge. He's a damn deep freezer.
Yeah.
And then scrolling over here, living La Vida Vea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. You gotta love it. So
No, but what
yeah.
you're saying about George Edwards,
Yeah, I think he's I
right.
think he's a good coach, and he'll maximize these guys. I think it's good for the rookies, like you talked about Yaya Diaby. He'll know how to give him a pass rush plan. So defensively, I'm not really worried about. I mean, obviously, if there's injuries, yeah, that could cause for concern, because again, it's tough to have 22 deep, in this league because of cap space and everything else. So I think they'll be okay. So that will obviously be the key. That's the key to every season. You got to stay healthy. You got to find a way to keep your key players in there. So hopefully that's what takes place. But I like it. And the main thing, and like we talked about, the offense, that is going to be the uplift that we're seeing with this new scheme. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
I mean, look how deep the front seven is, though. I mean, just think about this. You have Shaq, JTS as your outside guys,
Yep.
with Vita Vea, Greg Gaines. I'm assuming it's going to be William Golson over Kalijah Cansey, and they're just going to bring him in later. But look at the second round of that. You have Anthony Nelson still here as possible backup starter shoe-in. I mean, you can, depending on if it's a first down, he's probably going to be in there. And then Yaya Diaby is backing up them. Logan Hall is backing up the defensive line. William Golson, Kalijah Cansey. There's so many pieces in there you can use to keep them fresh and specific use players. I really like it. Not even mentioning Jose Ramirez, another pass rush specialist. But that front seven is legit. And then when you look at the back end, you have your two bookend cornerbacks, Jamel Dean, who you got a fancy little new contract. Carlton Davis, long, lanky guys are slowing them down. And then the outlier, or the hidden gem that everyone's talking about, Christian Izien, potentially even playing with the number ones as your slot corner. I mean, that's our nickel corner. That's pretty huge as an undrafted free agent, already getting looks there. So I suppose he's a smaller stature, like bulked up, muscle hamster kind of looking guy like Antoine Winfield Jr. And like, it's going to be cool to see who takes that, because everyone thought we drafted where is he at? Josh Hayes to be the nickel corner. There is no definitive answer who's going to win that. I mean, they right now have Zion McCollum at nickel. We're joking about that. So
yeah, no, I think that is probably your biggest competition for this training camp coming up. Deciding who that extra defender is going to be, that third corner or nickel position, and see what kind of, if they play it by rotation, or if someone just goes out and grabs it and takes it over. We'll just have to see. But I like, obviously your base secondary with Jamel Dean, Carlton, Antoine Winfield, and Ryan Neal. I think that's a very solid group. And we'll see who steps up, in those reserve roles and those backup jobs. That will be the key. And who knows, maybe they bring in another veteran. That remains to be seen. So Yeah, I think that'll be good. So I think that's your main competition on, the defense. Other than that, I mean, maybe backup linebacker position. Um, that's pretty much it. I think the rest of the competition or the defensive front, I think is pretty much set as your starters. I mean, we'll see who they rotate in, and um, but yeah, I like how it looks on that side of the ball. And then it's just a lot of talent on this team, and that's why I think we both feel this team has at least 7 wins. And we'll go to my floor here.
Yeah. Take the
My
floor. Give me your floor, please.
So I put this tweet out here. I mean, Vegas was talking as or had the Bucs as an over under win total 6.5, and I was like, I'm taking the over because I think this team is good enough for 7 wins or more. Like I said, defense is solid. I think offense will be much improved with that new scheme, and I think they have a really good opportunity to be in that 7 to probably highest is probably 11 wins. I think right in between there, and they have a great chance of repeating as division champions. So, and as you guys see, it got a lot of engagement, a lot of different comments.
Floor.
Yeah, I mean, you see there, I mean, just a lot of different stuff. So yeah,
Save your receipts now, guys. Save your
yeah.
receipts.
Lot of different stuff from it, but it was fun, and that's just what I believe. I feel like they have a really good opportunity to still be a very solid football team and compete for the playoffs.
I mean, then again, we're in a world of social media and where people they don't want to be wrong, but they want to be right when they are right. So
Yeah.
that's why you have people giving an answer of 3, 7,
Yeah.
13. I'm like, no, give me a damn answer. I don't want you to beat around the bush. Who
Yeah.
cares if you're wrong? If you're wrong, just own up to it. I don't want to have this magical, but I want to be nice for this crowd that thinks that no. Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna say, okay, shit, I messed up. Yeah, they suck today's D, I guess. But I mean, it is what it is. Like
Right.
in my head, with the potential this team has, the
Mhm.
defense is going to keep us in every game. It kept us in every game last year.
Yeah.
Before that, or the year before that. That coach is still here. The defensive side is fine. Don't worry about that. And they got better.
Mhm.
Right? Now, offensively, we got rid of the guy that was making the offense look really, really bad. We got a new guy in here.
Right.
Grass isn't always greener, but I think just based on addition by subtraction and new tendencies and a guy that's been in the system already, it's at least a push from
Yeah.
at least what we had last year.
Well, it'll be nice to know defenses won't know what we're doing, every week. They won't have an idea.
Keeps in the
Because
game to run.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to see the Godwin come in motion and it's on automatic run. We're not going to see the Godwin screen where it's just, automatic pitch. There's going to be variations. There's going to be different things. It's going to be unique. It's going to be exciting. We're going to see a lot of different formations. You're going to see Rashad White go out wide and actually run a route to catch a football. I just feel like they're going to utilize their personnel a lot better. They're not going to ask O'Keefe to run down the sideline and try to make an acrobatic catch. Even though he can do it, but again, they're going to understand what their personnel is and maximize that. And that goes for the quarterbacks as well. And that's why I feel confident in where it's probably going to be Baker Mayfield as your quarterback when he is put in the right situations where he is played to his strengths. He does a very good job. I thought his numbers last year with the Rams were really good. You look at his season with the Browns in 2020, he did a lot of good things where they utilized him. They protected him, from the pass rush. They protected him with the run game. And that's what you're going to have here. And you're going to find ways to limit those turnovers. You're going to play complementary football and understand what situations there is and how to be aggressive, when to be aggressive. All those things are going to come into place. And I think that's going to help your defense. Your defense is actually going to get breathers where you don't have to go right back on the field. And, they're not going to be worn out in the fourth quarter because guess what? We're running the football. We're using clock and we're moving the chains. And I think that's where those key things are going to take place. And it should be interesting. And like I said earlier, it's going to come down to can they finish these games? That's where it's going to come, because a lot of these are going to be one score games probably. Most of them. That's how it's going to come down to. Can we execute in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, also I'm going to be excited to see Baker scramble for a first down every now and then. Not every down. I'm not saying he should be doing this every down. I'm saying
but he can do it.
Yeah, like it's a 3rd and 3, and
he can get you those yards,
and he can go get it. Right.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the excitement from the crowd from that. A lot of people say it could be like a roller coaster, like Jameis. I just think, again, going back to coaching, marriage of the player and coach.
Yeah,
Byron Leftwich was just not a good marriage coach with Jameis. Jameis was already a risk taker, a guy that's, I trust my arm, my guy's gonna be there, I'm gonna throw it. Didn't really think conceptually, okay, what if the defense reads it?
Right.
You're just thinking about, I'm supposed to execute this. I'm not gonna read it, I'm just gonna throw it. I think the marriage between the two of Baker and Canales, like I think that's gonna be a big thing, a big deal. Like I think he was probably handpicked from Canales and Todd Bowles, knowing, okay, if this system works, this is how we're going to use it. And the comparisons of him bringing Lincoln Riley up to mind of the same type of mentality that Dave Canales has. Same thing with Sean McVay, similar mind to what Dave Canales has. That's huge, hearing that conceptually that they're similar. And I'm hoping this is true because we want that as Buck fans. We want to win. But I mean, I saw somewhere earlier in the chat, someone was saying likely that this division, they just smash mouth, they beat each other up. It could be similar to like how last year was, where everyone's like middle of the pack. No one's really taken over because no one's really a top dog in this damn division. You got what? You got a rookie, a second-year player, and the Derek Carr as quarterbacks. So I mean, come on. It's not like I'm already scared of everyone. No, I think the Bucs are right in the middle of everything. I don't think they're the top dog. No one's proven that just yet, but I think everyone's going to fight for that right to be the top. I mean, it's going to be a 500, I think, team. And that's why we kind of say 7 is a good floor.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm big into numbers, big into analytics, and I always look at what is your process? What is your process daily? How do you go into each game and how do you attack these opponents? That's what I'm most excited about, because that process is finally going to be the right way. And it's going to be the right way on both sides of the ball, defense and offense, where defensively we know a good game plan is going to come to place because we've seen it all last year. And then offensively is going to have a good plan in place where they're not going to look, head out of the water or whatever, deer in a headlight look, where they just don't have an idea what they're doing as far as attacking the other team. I think they're going to be better prepared, and it's going to show throughout these games as we watch them. And you're going to see plays where, yes, that was the right call to make, because guess what? You set them up all game and you make this adjustment, and that's what we're going to see. And that's what's going to be exciting. And the only thing that it'll come down to, where it should be, everything is going to be on the players now. There's not going to be anything where this was a coaching mistake. Sure, there'll be mistakes made by the coaches, absolutely, but the most of it is going to be put on the players to go out there and execute. And I think that's what you want from a team. That's how it should be, because it's a player's game, and you want these guys to go out there and go make those plays. And I think they're going to be put in position to do that a lot more successfully than we've seen in the last few years, for sure.
Yeah, how many times during our film breakdowns, we'd say, who the hell's the open guy? How can you expect them to hit someone? No one's open because they're not schemed open. They're not. You see this defense is forming in front of you. They didn't scheme nothing correctly.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering, oh, Brady had to take that sack because the offensive line didn't do anything. No, there was just no option. They were waiting for a 3 to 5 seconds where it should have been out in 2.
Yeah.
And this is stuff where you're letting the other team know what's coming. So you lost already. Concepts and scheming to be quarterback friendly, not to just put it all on the damn quarterback.
Yeah.
Decision. When you had right, they're like, best decision maker, just go do it. Put too much on a man with already too much going on in his head. And hey, let the man rest. Let him have his enjoyment of retirement. Thank you for everything he gave us. But also take what he said and understand it. He was literally just the ultimate game manager, and he could make the best decisions at the most vital times. That's what he was. He was nothing. Mike Vick was night and day, a way better athlete, better arm, better legs, clearly. But just the decision making, that was the biggest thing. And he had it. Yes, Belichick helped him, but at that time in his career, he had it all. Let's see. Now we got Dave Canales, hopefully a bright mind, leading the troops.
Yeah, definitely. So I just feel like that was the huge move of the offseason, and he's going to be the key. I mean, if he can call successful games week in, week out, and, understand situations and know how to, put things in place and call in different situations, I think that's going to be awesome to see. So yeah, I can't wait. Lawrence say appreciate the super chat here. Got the wrong one. There we go. Much appreciation to you. Thank you for the $2. We much appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to do this more often. Obviously, you'll see our faces a lot more going forward. This will probably be a regular thing from here on out. So yeah, very excited. We got some new ideas that we're going to look into to give you guys different content, especially during the season. So yeah, very excited for that.
Yeah, we have some fun things we're going to try and put out too. Like, try and record ourselves during the game so you see our true reactions. That's gonna be fun to see. Also, I wanted to put this out there, so let me bring this up. So why I've been gone for so damn long. Let me pull this up. This is
gotcha.
This show is brought to you by MJ Sheds. What is that? That is my company I just made as well. So Plus and I are always doing our Real Bucs Talk stuff. This is why I've been away for so long. I make sheds on the side as long as I do Real Bucs Talk sheds and my own job. So I'm a busy damn man and a father too. So if you want to contribute to the show, go ahead and sign up for a shed. That helps us out too, because that gives you more time to stay here and look stuff up, right? But
absolutely.
Talking more Buck football, we love this all day, every day. Thanks, Krillin. But I mean, to us, what do you think? What do you guys think is the floor for the Bucs? What is your just prediction? I know there's a long way until the season comes, but realistically, she sheds, he sheds, every shed. Buck shed, whatever the hell you want sheds.
by the seashore.
Right? But I mean, whatever. What do you guys think? Film room sheds.
There we go. Yeah, we need one of those, Mark.
Well, it needs an AC though. I'll say that. Shit gets hot.
You need to put that in your yard so we can go in there and do film.
Our own quiet, soundproof that damn thing.
Yeah.
But realistically, I'm excited for the season. We think 7 is a floor because of said points. Great defense. I made the point of Tony Dungy gives me the same vibes that Todd Bowles kind of gives. I know that's almost, some people think that's crazy to say, but it is. I mean, he's almost a calm, quiet guy. He's not going to be rah-rah in front of the camera, but the team themselves know what type of man this is and how much he demands out of them for the defensive side. And now he got himself an offensive guru to go and control that side of the ball. And I think this is going to be huge. I mean,
I think it, and the proof is there. Like we've seen this scheme work. Like you see it works at Los Angeles Rams. We've seen it work in Seattle. It's worked in, I think it's been in Minnesota as well. Cleveland, we've seen it. So it's a proven scheme that has a lot of success. And when you put that with the talent that is here on offense, I think the sky's the limit. It's going to be, like I said earlier, can Baker Mayfield elevate his game to a level where he takes us to beyond that point of where we think it can be if he just does so like average, just enough. But if he plays to above average or maybe even like really good, this offense could be special because, again, it's going to come down to him making those plays that are going to be there. Open plays, down the field shots. Can he make those plays consistently? That's where, the offense could get into the echelon of, 24 to 27 points a game. Potentially. I think it's all there. And we've seen him do it. And I think that's why I feel he's got the edge in that quarterback position. They feel, number one pick for a reason. So if this guy can be maximized where you're helping him out on a consistent basis, where he's not going to be asked to do everything, not be that hero ball type of quarterback, I think you got a real chance to have a solid offense where it can help this defense and complement it enough where you can win games 24-17 all day long. And that's what I think, that's kind of the plan they're trying to put in place here.
Yeah, and then another broad thinking, okay? Bring this back over. When he was with the Rams last year, that's why I don't look at the Panthers tape from last year. Don't do it.
No,
You're going to
no.
cry.
That was a bad situation.
Those are the people saying 2 or 3 wins that the Bucs are going to have. So when he was with the Rams, he had Van Jefferson as number 1 and Ben Skowronek.
I think Cooper Kupp was out.
Oh, he was gone. He was long gone.
Yeah.
I know because Adam in fantasy football was pissed. So it was
two out. Well,
yes.
Yeah.
This was his starting 3. Van Jefferson. I'm gonna butcher it again, but Ben.
Just say Ben
and Tutu.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many times I watched film Tutu Atwell dropping balls and just bad play. He didn't make many mistakes in that game. Coaches helped him a lot too. They ran the ball a lot, limited the errors, and did he get upset about it? No, he ran the system, ran the scheme, and just kept going with it. They targeted the tight end a lot. And again, something you saw off of the Seattle Seahawks. They threw the tight end a lot as well. They use a tight end in their scheme. What is that? That helps the quarterback. It's a bigger target to hit closer to the line. You're not looking for deep plays every down, a la BA and Leftwich. You're trying to work into that big play. Yeah, sometimes it may be early in the game, then you don't go back to it till late in the game, but you don't do it every damn play. So, I mean, he just upped his ability nonstop. Like, he's going to have Chris Godwin and Evans compared to these two. And then Russell Gage is number 3. That is a night and day difference. So, I mean, just see it in that way. Don't just always think ESPN said 2 wins. That's it. That's all she wrote.
Right.
This analyst that overviews 32 teams said 3-4. Caleb Williams, here we come. I mean, does our defense not say anything? Like, I think people need to start looking at how good this defense could possibly be, as opposed to, because it's Baker and how bad the offense was last year, they're going to score less this year.
No. Yeah, I think they score at least 2 more points per game just based on the fact that you have a new system and an offensive process that will be a lot better and more modern, and understands how to attack defenses. So they only scored 18 points last year per game. I bumped that up to 20 just because of Dave Canales. So I think that's how you have to look at it.
And it's stuff we mentioned, like defenses, that's reactionary, right? So if the defense doesn't know what's happening, they're already behind the 8 ball. They're going to have to learn our tendencies. It's later in the years when we start seeing ourselves, this is what the plays they like to run out of this formation.
Right.
That's where, does Canales kind of adapt and learn and run something different? That's when it gets in there. I think early on the offense is going to slowly look pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's later in the year. Does it stick? Because I mean, that's what happened with Geno last year too. Early on, holy hell, he's doing pretty good. Then near the end, they started catching up on things.
Yeah, they figured out tendencies, and that'll be the key for Canales. Can he change things up, mid-season, and find a way to keep things off balance week in, week out? That's going to be the thing, and obviously things change because you do come through injuries, and that's really the only reason I see this team. That's probably the only way this team does like less than 5 wins is if you have a massive hit of injuries. Certain players go down, and obviously you hope that won't be the case and we can stay healthy. But I see no reason why this team can't get at least 7 wins. I think 8 is very much doable to match what they did last year and be right there in the playoffs and be competitive for a division title. I think that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring up Geno Smith's stats for the end of the year last year.
Okay.
Just to kind of put that in there.
Well, while you do that,
Right.
I'll bring this up. Guys, be sure to hit that like button. We appreciate all the support in here, super chats, all the comments, questions. But yeah, thank you guys so much. We're going to try to get back to this regularly as we go forward. And we can probably, go into some different things, maybe just break down a position or break down a certain concept that you guys want to look at for the live stream. But this was kind of like an overview of everything, just our thoughts, because so much has taken place. But as you hear from us, we're really confident about this team. We feel like they're going to be right there in the thick of things to make things happen. So, yeah, can't wait for the season to start. And obviously, training camp gets underway this week. So, a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I pulled it up here. So hopefully
Mhm.
it zoomed in enough for you guys to see this. But early on, Tennessee's 82%, 80, 72, 76. For the season, he was almost 70%. You
Yeah.
see how high percentage completion it is here. It's almost 80 to 74, the entirety of it. And all of a sudden, look at these last 4 games. He only had 238 yards, 215 yards, 183, 213. The Rams were not that they had backups in almost everywhere. They barely beat Baker Mayfield that last game of the season.
Mhm.
61%, 2 interceptions. So these last 4 were not looking pretty. They were getting used to these tendencies. Yeah, San Francisco has one hell of a damn great defense. Kansas City, good enough to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, I guess they're pretty good. But still, like they were fizzling out at the wrong time. Um,
Mhm.
Against Carolina, they lost 58%, 3 touchdowns, but still, that ain't good. So
Right.
it's just does he adapt and change when they start learning the scheme, right? So we want this look in the beginning, not what's going to happen here. That's when the offense either has to adapt or our defense really does step up. I don't think Seattle's defense was like ours. I know their secondary is unreal, but
Mhm.
our defensive line and front seven, I think, is pretty real as well, and it's only going to help our secondary.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the big thing I take away from those numbers, when you look at it, there was only 3 games that had over 40 pass attempts, which I think is huge. So obviously, your commitment to the run game is going to be there. They had a really good run game, obviously, with Kenneth Walker in Seattle, and I feel like Rashad White is a very similar player that can make things happen. So yeah, I can't wait to really we'll be able to run the football when we want to. That will be exciting, and see how many yards per carry we can get. That will be the big sign of success for this offense. Can they run the football 4 yards a carry or more, and turnovers? Those will be the two things to watch: running the football and turnovers. That's usually how you win football games, especially late in the year. Um, so yeah, that will be the keys for this team, especially on offense and defense. Obviously, we want to get more turnovers.
Yeah.
So guess what you did? You added more speed and
Yes.
trying to get more pressure on the quarterback. All those good things, but yeah, can't wait for it to start. I'm excited that it's here, and it's great to be back, guys. So thank you guys so much for joining us.
And one more point. Remember how you said they had only 3 games that he threw the ball over 40 times? They
Mm.
lost all 3 of those games. They threw
Yeah,
40 times.
there,
So
there you
running
go.
the ball is going to be huge for this team. So
Mm.
fantasy football guys, look at Rashad White.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for us. We appreciate all the support. Again, remember to hit that like button, comment, give us your thoughts on just the overall team and what has you excited for training camp. Because definitely next time you hear from us, we'll break down training camp and get into some position battles for sure. But with that said, everyone have a great night and go Bucks.
Go Bucs guys.